Coming up on Look Today, a serious fire damaged multiple buildings in downtown Saratoga. I've got details. And the Lake George Association prepares for Giving Tuesday. That's happening tomorrow. I've got details. And organizations donate food to the Code Blue shelter in Saratoga. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Gordon Boyd. He's a board member, Bethesda Episcopal Church in Saratoga. He's here to talk about the church's upcoming collaboration with Skidmore College to celebrate the life of Harry Burleigh, the African-American classical composer and singer. I also sit down with Meg Haggerty. She's the Director of Community Engagement for the Queensbury United Methodist Church, and we're joined by Paula McMahon. She's the coordinator for the upcoming holiday festival. And they're here to talk about the exciting events happening this holiday season. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, a blazing fire struck Mia Posto restaurant in Saratoga on Thanksgiving Day. Firefighters were called to the scene at around 2:30 a.m. early Thursday morning. Now, according to police reports, the fire started at the back of the restaurant in the kitchen and spread to neighboring buildings, forcing a number of establishments to close. Now, thankfully, no injuries were reported. We spoke to Dan Grogan. He's a public safety officer for Saratoga County Code Enforcement.
The damage in 24 is basically water and smoke, but unfortunately, water does a lot of damage to the electrical, and you have to make sure the electrical is, pretty squared away before you turn it back on.
Now, located right next door to Mia Posto is another restaurant bar, Hamlet and Ghost, and we spoke to Brendan Dillon. He's the owner of Hamlet and Ghost about the effect the fire is having on their business.
It hurts, you know what I mean? You've got all your vendors, that you're on 30-day terms with. They need to have checks, continue to come in. So, losing that cash flow, you can really only survive so long without having some money come in. So, right now, people have been very nice to us. We're seeing a lot of, donations from people we know and good customers, other local businesses. That's been, really touching to all of us here to see how people, just how giving and how nice everybody's been.
Our best wishes go to Sperry's, Hamlet and Ghost, and Mia Posto. They will be back in business soon, we understand. In other news, the Lake George Association will participate in Giving Tuesday, a global holiday dedicated to giving back to local communities. Now, the event will happen tomorrow, and the LGA encourages donations. Any donations made to the association will go directly to projects to help keep the lake clean. We spoke to Patrick Dowd. He's a director of communications for the LGA.
This is the Lake George Association's second year in participating in Giving Tuesday. We're very lucky in the Lake George Basin with the 9 towns surrounding the lake to have very strong communities. And our goal is, as the communities give to us on this day, that we wanted to make sure that we gave back.
Now, we also spoke to Stephanie Smith. She's development assistant about the past successes of Giving Tuesday.
Giving Tuesday is a global day for giving back, and it started about 4 years ago. Last year, I think over 45,000 organizations participated in it, and about $117 million were raised over that 24-hour period. Remember, it's Giving Tuesday, emphasis on giving. Switching from news to weather. Well, today saw some warmer temperatures, and they're expected to increase over the next couple of days. So, for a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, the Code Blue shelter in Saratoga Springs has been open for a little over a week as the temperatures
did drop below 32 degrees. Now, during the holiday season, many organizations are helping the homeless stay fed. The Presbyterian New England Congregational Church ran a soup kitchen over the weekend and donated food to the shelter. Well, we spoke to Mike Finocchi. He's the executive director of Shelters of Saratoga.
Last year, our average was 34 people a night, and that was actually down from the year before. So we're hoping as each year goes on, we see those numbers, those average numbers decrease. We're still getting between 5 to 10 people coming in just for dinner because it's, you know, this time of year the thought is, you know, do I pay my bills or do I put food on the table? So, you know, the money's going to go to bills and they can come in and have dinner with us, no questions asked.
Wow. Up next, I sit down with Gordon Boyd. He's a board member for Bethesda Episcopal Church in Saratoga. He's here to talk about the church's upcoming collaboration with Skidmore to celebrate the life of Harry Burleigh, the African-American classical composer and singer. Plus, I also sit down with Meg Haggerty. She's a director of community engagement for the Queensbury United Methodist Church, joined by Paula McMahon. She's a coordinator for the upcoming holiday festival. They're here to talk about exciting events happening this holiday season. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea. How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a couple of lookouts and a look ahead for the week. First, I hope you all had a safe Thanksgiving and Black Friday wasn't too hectic. I want to mention Brendan and Dennis, the guys who own Hamlet and Ghost. I was going to do this anyway before the fire. My wife and I went in there for a glass of wine after being up at Skidmore, and the place is just a terrific neighborhood place. Thankfully, the damage is not too extensive for them, and we understand not too extensive for Sperry's. So they plan on reopening in a couple of weeks, just in time for the holidays. So we'll keep you updated on that. Something else, on the Queensbury United Methodist interview I did earlier, I forgot to mention they have a dedicated phone number so you can make reservations for their dinner theater presentation. Again, that's Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th. And you can call 792-8385. 792-8385. And please make reservations. You don't want to get shut out of that event. Looking ahead, we've got a bunch of things that are coming up this week that are interesting. I've got interviews with the Saratoga Rotary Club, the Adirondack Ballet School, and the Chapman Museum. We're also going to be doing stories on the Glens Falls Indians. What a team. And also the Victorian Street Walk right here in Saratoga. So we've got a lot of good things coming up this week. Tonight on Look TV, it's Beyond the Headlines and some additions of new tracks. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.